Welcome everybody to this independent dialogue of the 2021 United Nations Food Systems Summit. My name is Thomas Cherry-Kobanga and I'm an associate professor at Westlake University here in China, and I'm also affiliated with the University of Göttingen in Germany. Let me begin by thanking you all for participating in this independent dialogue entitled Empowering Small-Scale Rice and Vanilla Farmers in Madagascar. I know it's a great effort for all of you to come here, so my wholehearted and sincere thanks for that. I would also like to thank Dr. Estelle Raveloaritsiana and the entire team on the ground for making this dialogue possible. Unfortunately, due to COVID and the travel restrictions, I cannot be there with you in person, which would of course be the ideal solution. So you might wonder why we have asked you to participate in this independent dialogue. Let me just give you some brief background on why our agricultural systems, not just here in Madagascar, but on a global scale, are in urgent need for change. So by 2050, we will be 10 billion people on planet Earth, and that means that we need to provide more food, fiber, and energy for even more people than we currently have to do at the current stage. In fact, the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization has predicted that we would need more than 50% more food. And on top of that, we don't have just to provide more food, we will also have to provide more healthy food, more food in higher quality proteins and more calories, more daily caloric intake. On top of that, we're currently using 32% of the arable landmass for agricultural production. However, if we further expand that landmass, we will have to degrade natural ecosystems and forests. And of course, to feed these 10 billion people in the future, that is really undesirable. So here's another challenge. We need to feed more people, but we also have to do that ideally on less than land that we are currently using. The current way we're producing agriculture has affected biodiversity and ecosystem service to a large extent. In fact, currently 1 million species are predicted to be on the brink of extinction, largely due to agricultural production. So that is another big challenge. We need to try and reduce the amount of impacts on the environment and reduce the amount of impact on biodiversity. Last but not least, climate change is an important topic. Agriculture is actually contributing 1/3 of all the emissions that we're counting for climate change. So we need to, by 2050, feeding more people, make sure that we can reduce the amount of greenhouse gas emissions produced. So these, in a nutshell, are all the issues that agriculture is facing today. Now, what are the solutions to these problems? One part of the solution are resilient farming systems that are based on agroecological principles, where new crop varieties make the crops more resilient towards climate impacts and pest outbreaks. Overall, in these systems, what we are seeing is that the yields can be maintained more sustainable on a long term. And this in the picture here is an example of a diversified rice paddy in the Philippines. So you see flower strips on the side of a rice paddy, which have been shown to reduce pesticide needs, but at the same time can increase crop yields over long time periods. Another aspect to solve these issues is a change of human diet, to change away from a meat-based diet to a more plant-based diet. So this is an example here of a plant-based burger where protein sources are substituted through plant-based sources. However, the most important part of the solution is basically to understand the different perspectives of all the people involved in agricultural systems, to then test which solutions work best where, and we can basically utilize the knowledge of all the different stakeholders and all the different needs that stakeholders have. The government, the industry, NGOs, and first and foremost, you, the farmers that produce food through all the hard work, not just in Madagascar, but on a global scale. So what we would really like to do in this project is to identify effective communication tools that make it possible to facilitate a knowledge exchange between farmers within Madagascar, but also thinking on a more international scale, and between scientists and farmers and other stakeholders and farmers, so that we can all benefit from the knowledge that we already have. And with this, I would like to thank you all one more time for making the effort to participate in this independent dialogue of the United Nations Food Systems Summit 2021. I hope you have a wonderful day here together. You have great discussions. This picture here on the left shows my group, the Sustainability Agriculture and Technology Lab at Westlake University in China. And if you're interested in our group, if you're interested in having a conversation with me, just please do feel free in touch. The email address you can see here on the right-hand side. So have a wonderful day and thank you once more.